All right, here we go. Um, this is this will be an interesting close to the week. Um, Here we go. Um, all right. A Texas mom. This is from CNN. A Texas mom is disgusted because a daycare employee wrote that her 5-year-old son needed to be put on a diet. Now, Jess. Well, let me read it. A Texas mom says she sent her 5-year-old son to daycare with a special note inside his lunchbox. Please tell my son that his mommy loves him so much and I'm thinking about him. But when the boy returned home, the lunchbox contained an upsetting response. No, in all caps, exclamation point. Put him on a diet, plus sign, go away in all caps, exclamation point. It took a minute to register. What I even saw, and I just kept rereading it, and I just stood there for a minute. The mother, Francesca Esden, sorry if I butchered your last name, told CNN affiliate KTRK, and this is her post off of Facebook. So now that I have handled the situation, I want to share what happened to Kyler and I. We have been working with Kyler on his eating. He's extremely picky. I have been introducing new healthy options in his lunchbox and discussed the changes with his school. And for the record, I feel that Kyler is absolutely perfect the way he is. I'm just helping him make healthier choices. Instead of his school being supportive, I'm in absolute shock at what happened. See more. I sent this note in Kyler's lunchbox, thinking that it would make him smile at lunchtime, but instead I received this in return from one of the teachers. Of course, I was absolutely livid and immediately reached out to the school. First thing this morning, I was at the school waiting on the director with my mother-in-law for a meeting. I was assured that it was being investigated and handled, yet almost no remorse was shown. I was also brought to their attention the fact she has a few typos in here, but they're minor. I also brought to their attention the fact that on the teacher's public Facebook page, there were mass posts regarding drug use and other very inappropriate content. The teacher that wrote this note confessed while I was at work and was fired, but nothing had been done about the other situations. Zero remorse for their actions. I am disgusted that I put my trust in these people to care for my child, and this is what I get in return. I have removed Kyler from this daycare, Rocking Horse Kingwood, and am enrolling him in a beautiful new facility. I'm worried about the higher cost, but I will make it work, no matter what I have to do. Kyler's safety and level of care comes first. Sorry for the long post, but I feel it's important to share this. I'm extremely hands-on with my child's care and still didn't see this coming. Monitor your daycares closely and stay away from this facility. They do not deserve the privilege of teaching our children. So that was the post. Let's react to that a little bit. Okay. So if you just heard this story, it sounds very strange because, let's be real. There are certain things where when we read something, we have certain reactions in our head. So this teacher read the note, and she had a response that came to her head, and she decided to put it in writing, which is pretty bold. So I'm just gonna go on a limb here. I think this teacher doesn't make too much sense. It doesn't make too much sense to me. But I believe this person wanted to get fired. I can't see any reason why you would write this and stick it back in the lunchbox. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Clearly, okay, it's like this. There's a note. The the note is written. I respond to the note in writing, put it back in the lunchbox. The lunchbox is going to go back home to the mother. The mother's going to open the lunchbox and see that there was a response to her note. I can't think of any reason to do this, except for having the desire to be fired. And even then, that doesn't make sense, because it's like, if you want to be fired, you might as well, you're better off just quitting, in all honesty. An employee, this is back in the article, an employee at the Rocking Horse Daycare in Kingwood, where the incident took place, admitted to writing the note and was fired. CNN could not independently confirm the employee's status. I just find it, this story is just, this is sad. Because when you send your child to a place, you have this belief that they are going to be safe. You wouldn't send your child to a place that you think, where you believe bad things could happen and they could end up being harmed. You just wouldn't do that. So this mother believed that and as all mothers do, when they send their children to certain, and I'm not saying dads don't care, but mothers are exceptionally more defensive of their children and more caring and more nurturing and stuff like that. But this is just really disgusting by this employee. I am baffled. Like, why would anybody why would you write that? I mean, seriously. Okay, let me just put myself in the employee's mind for a second. Okay. I read this note. Let me go back up to the note and then, okay. Please tell Kyler that his mommy loves him so much and I'm thinking about him. Smiley face. Thank you. ! That is the note. Okay. I read that and I'm thinking, so this fat kid, well, you know what? He's, for some reason, I feel the need to say this, and I'm thinking, okay, this kid needs to go on a diet, and this mother is just being annoying. So I write that in words. I'm going through a bunch of different scenarios in my head, trying to be in the mind of the employee who wrote this. And none of them make sense. I mean, it's almost like the employee either thought that the mom either wouldn't care or would just keep that to herself. Because here's the thing. This employee said no, ! Put him on a diet and go away. So she's telling the parent how to parent, and parents really don't like that. They really don't like that. People don't like being told what to do and how to do something. They just really don't like that. And I just don't know what this employee was thinking. Put him on a diet and go away. So you're saying, okay, your kid, and when someone says, okay, when people think of the word, a lot of people, when they think of the word diet, the connotation is, okay, so this person is fat or overweight or obese. So those words start coming to the mind. And then you say, go away. I'm baffled. I'm absolutely baffled. I can't think of any reason to write this. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that this teacher was thinking about quitting already, and she just wanted a reason to be fired, so she could go somewhere else. Not to make light of the situation, but I think to the Seinfeld episode where George, he works for the Yankees, and these representatives from the New York Mets approach him one day, and they say, "Okay, we want you to come work for us, but we can't really be having this discussion. So what we need you to do, we need you to get fired." And so George pretty much spends the rest of the episode trying to get fired, which commonly happens in the show where he gets fired. But in this episode, he can't get fired, no matter how hard he tries. But I don't. This is amazing to me. This is disgusting. I gotta be honest. Well, first of all, my kids aren't gonna be fat. But I look at it this way. If someone were to write, if I sent my kids a note in their lunchbox and someone replied like this, my first response would be like, wait, what? And it's just, I just think it's absolutely I just think it's interesting. I think it's so interesting. This is a sad story. This is very unfortunate. But this mother is on the spot. I mean, you need to, I don't have children, as you guys know, but you need to be, watching, you need to know who's taking care of your kids for a good portion of the day. That's why, picking, having your kids at a certain school is so important. And just kind of being up to date on what they're doing at the school and stuff like that. Because your child spends 9 hours a day at the same place at least 5 days a week. And it's like, wow, that's quite a bit of time. I mean, that's a work week. That's huge. And so you do that, and it's just, I don't know, man. This is just, anyway, parents, watch who's watching your kids. Just, make sure you trust, you can never, well, I'll say this, you can never have 100% trust. It doesn't exist. But what you have to do, you just gotta say, okay, where can I put my child where they can succeed the best? Where they're gonna be, safe and learn and, just have the best opportunity to succeed in life. But this is just disgusting. I'm gonna say this. I don't see this employee or ex-employee now getting any other job concerning children. Because, see, here's the thing. She's been fired, and now it's like this. Either she lies on her resume, either this employee's gonna lie on their resume, and, she'll try to get by during that, or, because, what's gonna happen is she's gonna put down the name of the place, what's the name of it? Rocking Horse Kingwood, and she's going to do that, and they're going to say, okay, so your last place of employment, what happened? Why'd you leave? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. This woman that's just wrong. That's just wrong. Because here's the thing. You're going to have your opinions. That's perfectly reasonable. That's totally fine. But just, writing it down and sending it to the parent, that just, it wasn't going to end, it just wasn't going to end well, this whole situation. I don't know what this employee could have been thinking. Anyway, that's that story. Okay. Okay. ABC, this from abcnews.go. Noose found in Auburn University residence hall. Auburn University says it's investigating after an extension cord tied like a noose was found inside a campus residence hall. Okay, here we go. Auburn University says it's investigating after an extension cord tied into a noose was found inside a campus residence hall. Tweets sent late Wednesday by the school's safety and security department say the noose was discovered and removed Wednesday from a common area of the building. The tweets say nooses are linked to racial violence in the United States, and that intolerance, intimidation, and threatening behavior have no place on campus. The message says officials at the East Alabama school condemn this action as anti-ethical of the values of the Auburn family. Auburn statistics show the university's current enrollment of about 30,460 students is 75% white and about 5% black? Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that it was such a small portion. That's interesting. Okay. About 5% black. Members of different ethnic groups make up the rest. So that's amazing. 80% of the student body is black or white. That's amazing to me that only 5%. Well, you know what, now that I think about it, Auburn is prestigious. I mean, it's no Harvard, it's no Oxford or anything like that, but Auburn's it's no gimme, it's no guarantee that you're going to get in. So it kind of makes sense, but 5% still seems low, especially with, Auburn being in Alabama. But this is extraordinarily interesting. The chances are they're probably not going to get the guy or girl who did this. But I'm going to say this, man. This is just not... people talk about racial tensions in the United States. People say they're getting worse. And I look at it this way. I think when it comes to racial tensions, I believe I don't know, man. Personally, I don't think racial tensions are really... Here's where I think people think that. So you take social media and the news and stuff like that, and what it does is it highlights certain aspects. It highlights certain small things. I'm going to go out on a limb here. When it comes to everyday... Well, I gotta say this. I believe individuals overall don't care about race. I mean, unless we're talking about dating or marriage, or stuff like that. I think most people just when it comes to someone else's race, most people don't care. The dating and marriage thing is entirely different. But here's the thing. I think when you say, okay, how do blacks view whites? How do whites view blacks? How do Hispanics view blacks? How do Asians view Hispanics? How do Hispanics view, whatever? I think it's difficult. I think you have this idea where these people are just really... I think there are some people that are just really angry and believe that they make these generalities. And I think that's kind of what happens with... this. Because it's like this. It's easy to hate from afar. But when you're up close and personal with someone, once you get to know them, it's pretty difficult to hate them. It really is, because And no matter, I mean, you may think this is controversial, but when you get up and close and personal with someone, you learn things about them, and you see, you know what, this person and I have a few similarities. Like, that's amazing. Like, who would have thought? And here's the thing: and it's just for the reason I said, you can't hate the person up close, because when you discover similarities, it's like, well, wait a minute. If I hate this person and they possess these qualities, and I also possess these qualities, well, does that mean I hate myself, part of myself too? And immediately that barrier of hate, it may not come down all the way, but it greatly diminishes. And I don't believe racial tension. I don't think it's that big of a problem, personally. I don't believe white supremacy is a big problem. Do white supremacists exist? Yes, there are, certain supremacists from all ethnicities that exist, and the number is extraordinarily small. You will have extremists. That is a thing. They do exist. But overall, the vast majority are people who don't care. Like, when people say white supremacy is a problem, I'm like, let me just ask you this. How many white supremacists do you know? And it's like, what makes you think that it's a problem? Today, what makes you think it's a problem? And I usually don't get an answer when I say that it's not really a problem, and I ask people to explain why. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me to think that racial tensions are getting worse. People look at Trump and it's like, okay, they say, oh, Trump's a racist. Okay, let's do this. Let's say that's true. Let's say Trump is indeed a racist. He himself identifies as a racist, and he just has a bunch of racist things. What actions has he taken to show that he's a racist? He may have these ideas, but what actions has he taken to show his racism and to talk about, women or men being better than women, or just him being a homophobe and stuff like that? Like, I'm curious. Like, my mind is scrambling right now for an explanation as to why people think that racial tensions are extraordinarily bad. And I don't really get it. Like, I just don't. Someone just explain to me why you believe that. Because I don't see it. I see white people, I don't care. I see Mexicans, I don't care. I see other blacks, I don't care. I see Indians, I don't care. I see Native Americans, don't care. I see Pakistanis, don't care. This is the greatest nation that has ever existed. I'm just, if white supremacy is a problem, and I always point to this. If white supremacy, or let me just say this, if America is indeed as bad as some people will say it is, why is it then that America is the leading nation by a wide margin of immigrants? People emigrating from their countries to come here. It baffles me. Look at I encourage you to do this. Just look at immigration statistics. Look at where people are going. Look at where people are leaving. That will tell you all you need to know. I shouldn't say all you need to know, but it tells you a great deal. It tells you which places are completely undesirable. It shows you which places are desirable. It shows you can see commonalities in, certain areas. But people want to come to America. They do. It baffles me. If America is just such a terrible place, if it's such a horrific, racist place, why are there people coming from all over the world to come here? That just doesn't make any sense. Why would I leave a place that I'm comfortable with, a place that I know, a place that I trust, a place that my ancestors have lived in? Why would I leave that place for a place where supposedly, white people just, step on minorities' throats, where, police just shoot blacks, just all of these other problems, I don't get it. I don't get it. And I know I'm repeating myself. But a lot of these arguments, man, I just stop making. I really do. Like the whole socialism versus capitalism thing. I don't even argue that anymore. Results and numbers speak for themselves. These socialist countries, no one is running to these socialist countries. No one wants to go there. People are trying to leave these places in droves, man. Like by the thousands, they're leaving these places. It doesn't add up. I mean, people say capitalism is evil. Why do people come here? People come here like communism, socialism. It blows. They don't work. They lead to the deaths of millions of people. And when I see like people who are socialists, I will say this. I've met 2 communists in my life. I've met 2. And one of them, I believe he's just joking about it. I don't actually think he's serious. The other one said that's just the way nature is supposed to be. And I pretty much just brushed him off. I mean, I didn't hate the guy or anything like that. Like we were pretty cool, and it just kind of came up. Like he said, by the way, I'm a communist. And I said, really? And so that just kind of started a discussion. But when I see more socialists and I see the rise and popularity of socialism, it baffles me. Like, just look at these countries. Look at these countries where they've tried it. Look and see what's happening. People aren't going to these destinations. They're not. I don't know. But these arguments, there are times where I want to say something, but I'm just like, this person. I always go back to this. Sometimes people are just ignorant. Sometimes people think that they want something. They think they want it, but they actually don't. And so in their ignorance or misinformation, they have this certain belief, and they go with it. They run with it. Man, and that's what I think. I always think, when people say that they're a socialist, I'm just like, well, see, this person likes the idea of socialism. They haven't actually dug into the history of socialism and how effective it is. And I know I really veered off the whole noose story. That's because this is one instance, and I really, it's you're gonna have some weird people out there. But it's just, I don't know, man. I actually, I want to ask this. A certain demographic, I think, like, by my estimates, about 15 to 22% of my audience is like 45, is like anywhere from like 45 to 60. Those are my estimates. If any of you are socialist, please reach out to me and explain to me why you believe socialism is good and why it's better than capitalism and just stuff like that. Because when I listen to socialists, I'm not saying they're stupid or stuff like that, or that they're just horrible people. I feel dumber after I listen to one. Because what I found is that socialists, what they tend to do, they don't talk about the greatness of socialism. What they do is they take capitalism and they try to go through all the evils of capitalism, trying to bring it down to make social, because you can't, with the history of socialism, you cannot legitimately make an argument to raise it in attractiveness to people. I find what they have to do is they talk about, capitalism does this, it does this, it does this, it does this, it does this. And you try to bring it down to the level of socialism, and you try to bring it down, try to find a way to force it down a little bit more. And so it's like, see, that's why socialism is the answer. That's just what I found. I had a conversation with a guy last semester. His name was Nigel, and he was a socialist, and pretty much that's what he did. Like we walked and talked for 10 minutes straight. I did not interrupt him, and he was explaining to me of how all the problems in the world were because of capitalism. And so he just kept going for like 10 minutes. So I said, And I said, so what's the solution? And he said, well, socialism is the solution. I mean, this guy was just bagging on capitalism for 10 minutes. He didn't make any case for social. I haven't come across a person who can make a case for socialism. Their case for socialism is really a case against capitalism. That's what I find. I mean, I've come to this solution, or I've come to this belief, I should say, concerning socialism. Socialism is either this concept that cannot actually be achieved, and it's just this really great idea, but when we metaphysically it's a great idea, but when we put it in the real world, it fails every time. Or socialism or these people are just wrong about socialism. I can't come to any other conclusions. I mean, with the success rate of socialism, long term is 0%. I mean, I don't know, man. I really veered here. But what I'm trying to say here is, and this will kind of tie into my next story. America is just such a tremendous nation. If you believe it sucks, and you believe America just blows, and you believe that this is a terrible, horrible place where oppression happens, you're just ignorant. You're just ignorant. I don't want to say you're stupid or stuff like that, but it's just, I just don't think you really understand I just don't believe you understand history. I don't think you do. No, like, these people they're not going to these other countries. I mean, the United States leads by a tremendous margin in terms of immigrants. I mean, a huge number. It baffles me. It baffles me. I mean, I don't know. Just look at where people are going to and where they're leaving from. That will tell you a lot of what you need to know. I'm done with this topic. I went way off topic, but it just this idea. Oh my God! Just wait till you guys hear this next story. And this also is a weird story. Okay. So, by the way, I would like to see this movie, Harriet, about Harriet Tubman. I do want to see this. I just gotta find the time. You know what? I may go see this with my family. I can imagine my family going to see this over Thanksgiving break. Like, after we have dinner, I could easily see us just going to see this movie. So it's likely that I will do a review on this movie. Anyway, here we go. This is from NBCnews.com. AMC to fire 3 workers for alleged racial profiling of black women at Harriet screening. A group of African American women who went to the movie about Harriet Tubman at a Louisiana theater said 3 employees repeatedly interrupted the movie over a ticket dispute. Okay. AMC Theaters has fired 3 employees in Louisiana who allegedly engaged in racial profiling of a group of African American women during a screening of Harriet, a movie about abolitionist hero Harriet Tubman. A letter to AMC from the lawyer for a group called 504 Queens, described by NOLA.com, NOLA.com, as an African American women's empowerment group, says 15 of its members of the group went to see the film at an AMC theater on November 7th. 3 theater employees, including a kitchen worker, repeatedly interrupted the screening to ask members of the group to verify their tickets and seating assignments. The letter said, at one point, one employee stopped the film and turned the lights on, causing other people at the screening to get upset and ask the 504 Queens leave, WDSU reported. You mean to tell me a kitchen employee can stop a movie and also turn on all the lights to embarrass me and to be aggressive with me in that manner? It's like the 1800s coming back to my face in 2019. Okay. Okay, no. Cause let's just think about that. If this were the 1800s, you wouldn't even be in the theater. So let's just start with that. If this is before, slavery was abolished, you would probably be on a plantation. It's like the 1800s coming back to my face in 2019. No, it's not. See, here's what we have to understand. Here's what you need to understand. It's not a difficult concept. There are certain individuals in society that make up a small minority. Okay, most people don't care. Most people are like, oh, okay, black people right there. Okay, whatever. Whatever. And I also got to say this. So I live near an AMC, and I have experience with AMC, and so what they do is when you go. Actually, you can do this at a lot of movie theaters now, but I know this is for sure true in terms of AMC. But what happens is, when you go to buy a movie ticket, you say what movie you want, you say the time you want it at, and then the cashier does stuff in the back, behind the cashier. I mean, not behind the cashier, behind the cash register. And they push some buttons, and then a screen pops up of the auditorium, and it shows the seating availability. And so what happens is they say, okay, choose your seat. And a certain color shows for available, and then there's some that show reserved, and then, all of that. There's stuff for handicapped. Very transparent. Okay. And then when you pick your seat, they say, are you sure you want the seat? And you say, yes. They say, okay. You get your ticket, and it shows, on the ticket, it shows, seat, row and seat number. Like, D13. So say me and my friends wanted to go see a movie, and we wanted to sit together, we would find 3 seats, and it would be, D13, D14, D15. All right. And so me and my 2 friends, we would take those tickets, and, we would choose, okay, between us 3, who wants D13, who wants D14, who wants D15, and then you go from there. I mean, this situation just seems really bizarre. It just seems bizarre. Because you can easily prove that it's your seat. All you gotta do is just show us your ticket stub. And I don't know all the details here, but I gotta be honest. First of all, this has never happened to me. This hasn't happened to me. But it's like this. It's very easily solvable. Okay? And this is even for between patron and patron. Okay, and they say, are you sure you're in your right seat? And then you check your ticket, and you're like, this is my seat. And they say, oh, okay, I'm in the seat next to you. Sorry. And it's solved in like 2-3 seconds. So if these employees come down the stairs or come up the ramp, whatever way, and they say, can you verify your ticket? Now, I don't know if they did that to all of the moviegoers. I don't know if they did that when they got inside the auditorium. They say, oh, okay. Because supposedly they stopped the movie. And it's like, it's just super easy to show that it's your seat. It doesn't make any sense to me. Because if someone comes down, say a worker comes down to my friends and I, and they say, can you verify your tickets and your seating arrangement? We would say, yeah, we would pull out our ticket stubs, D13, D14, D15. And we would say that, we're together, we're a group, and these are our ticket stubs. That's it. There's no argument you could make against that. It's super transparent, which is when I read this story, I didn't want to really get into the whole ticket thing, but I wanted to. Where is it? Where's that line that I want to talk to you guys about? My God. Okay. So let me go back to their quote. You mean to tell me a kitchen employee can stop a movie and also turn on all the lights to embarrass me? And to be aggressive with me in that manner? It was like the 1800s coming back to my face in 2019. That's whatever. Sure, if you actually think that. Okay. Another member of the group told NOLA.com that one theater worker started yelling when she came to check their tickets. The women spoke to management after the screening and were ultimately refunded the money for the tickets. In their letter, the group called on the company to fire the 3 employees and also outlined 8 ways AMC could rectify the situation. Listen to this. Including that it provide mandatory anti-racism and anti-oppression training for workers. The hell is anti-oppression training? What does that mean? I'm waiting for a revelation on this. Anti oppression training. What? I'm baffled. Baffled. And then, some of their other demands. 504 Queens also asked that AMC give free Harriet tickets to all public and private high school students in Orleans and Jefferson parishes. Donate movie passes to the group's 200 members so they can take young girls in their mentor program to movies next year, and donate sales from Black Friday to the group. 504 Queens said the donated money would be used to provide meals during the holidays for people in need. They asked for quite a bit. In a letter obtained by WDSU, AMC General Counsel and Senior Vice President Kevin Connor apologized to the group and said the company will honor all 8 of the group's suggestions. According to Connor, 504 Queens should expect to receive roughly $5,000 to $8,000 from Black Friday sales at the Mid-Air Theater. I think that's how you pronounce it. The letter said AMC will also implement anti-racism / unconscious bias training at multiple theaters via a webinar, and he has made plans to terminate the employees involved. Earlier in the week, multiple AMC theaters in the area had free screenings of Harriet for Jefferson and Orleans Parish high school students. That is the end of the article. I think I'm going to stop for a second. I mean, what is anti-oppression training? That's not oppression. If a person comes up to me in the movie theater, an employee asks me, what is your, I mean, I'm trying to, and here's the thing. Here's the problem with news articles. You usually don't get all sides. Cause I'm curious to know, okay, what the 3 employees, what is their version of the story? And then other people in the theater, what's their version of the story? Because it's like this. If everyone was asked to verify their ticket, it makes sense. I mean, there's just because see, here's the thing. What it sounds like is that they were already sitting down. They were already sitting down because they said, let me go back up. The 3 theater employees, including a kitchen worker, repeatedly interrupted the screening to ask members of the group to verify their tickets and seating assignments. The letter said, at one point, one employee stopped the film. So they were sitting, like they were set, like everyone's set. I'm just curious. Like, what happened? Because I mean, did these, like, I'm asking here, did these ladies just not show their ticket stub? Did they show the ticket stub and then for some reason the employees thought that they were lying or that they had stolen the tickets? I'm curious. And then like a kitchen worker, a person came out of the kitchen, stopped, heating and unheating stuff. He came out from his post, went into the auditorium and asked them. I mean, this is just a bizarre story. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me at all. Like, just the process of all of this makes no sense to me. But I'm serious. What is anti-oppression training? How do you even conduct that? I'm baffled. I don't get it. That's pretty much it. I'm probably, I won't say that. I'll say that for a different episode. Anyway, I'm probably gonna see this movie. My family's probably gonna want to see it. Usually we do go see a movie. After Thanksgiving dinner, we usually go out to eat. On Thanksgiving, we go to a nice place, and we eat like early in the day, and then we may go to a movie. But I don't know. But I'm gonna say this: the 1800s did not come back to slap you in the face. If this were the 1800s, there would have been no situation because you wouldn't have gotten into the theater. And depending on which part of the 1800s we're talking about, ladies, you would have been on a plantation.